Michael van Gerwen was the #1 darts player in the world for 2,559 consecutive days. 16 months ago, he lost the World Championship final to a teenager and said, "Live on Sky Sports, quote, I'm an old bastard compared to him." Today, he is no longer even his own country's #1. His closest friend on the professional tour has said publicly that dropping out of the world's top 16 by 2027 is very possible, and the numbers suggest even that might be optimistic. Let's start with the numbers as they stand today. Michael van Gerwen is world #4 on the PDC Order of Merit with approximately £691,000 in ranking prize money over the last 2 years. He is behind Luke Littler, Luke Humphries and the 23-year-old Gian van Veen. Before the 2026 World Championship, he was #3, after the Worlds, where Littler took home the first ever £1 million winner's check and Van Veen reached the final. Van Gerwen got leapfrogged. The ranking that tells the real story is not the headline one. On the PDC Pro Tour Order of Merit, which only counts floor events from the past 12 months, Michael van Gerwen sits at 31st, £71,000, clinging to a top 32 place, a player of his standing on the edge of dropping off the Pro Tour seeds. The current leader on that table is Weissel Nijman. And then there's the defensive math. Michael van Gerwen has to defend £477,000 in 2026 alone. That's 69% of his entire current ranking total. That figure includes £100,000 from the 2024 World Match Play, £200,000 from the 2024 World Championship, and 2 European Tour titles. To stay where he is, he has to earn all of that back. Through 4 months of 2026, he has won 0 ranking titles. Vincent van der Voort, speaking on a Dutch darts podcast after Van Gerwen's 2026 Worlds exit, said this, quote, "If you have another year like this, you can simply drop out of the top 16. That sounds bizarre, but it's very possible." In March 2026, after the UK Open, van der Voort went further. He said it was realistic that Michael van Gerwen could start 2027 outside the world's top 16. Eddie Edgar on Viaplay said, quote, "If it doesn't go well, he could see himself drop to the bottom of the top 16. Those are Michael van Gerwen's friends and analysts talking. Top 16. If the 2025 prize money rolls off in 2027 and he can't replace it, a slide towards 20th in the world stops being a provocation. It becomes arithmetic. To understand how we got here, you have to go back not to January 2026, but to the entire 2025 season. Because the downfall didn't start at the Worlds with Gary Anderson. It started a year earlier. On the 1st of January 2025, Michael van Gerwen lost the 2025 PDC World Championship final 7 sets to 3 to Luke Littler. He averaged 100.69. Littler, at 17 years and 347 days, became the youngest ever world champion, breaking van Gerwen's record from 2014. On Sky Sports, van Gerwen said, live on air, quote, "I'm an old bastard compared to him." In May 2025, he missed the Premier League playoffs, only the second time in his career. He went into the final night in Sheffield, needing to beat Nathan Aspinall. He lost. Aspinall had already beaten him in Aberdeen the week before. Van Gerwen, before the match, told the press, quote, "It hurts. It always hurts. I'm a winner, not a loser." Former world #1 Colin Lloyd, speaking on TalkSport, said, quote, "I think his race is run. With what he's achieved in the game, is he that motivated anymore?" On the 3rd of April 2025, he withdrew from the Premier League night in Berlin with a shoulder injury. Gerwyn Price took the bye. On the 14th of April 2025, he lost the Players' Championship. First round match 6-4 to Mario van den Bogaerder, a player ranked 69th in the world. It was his 4th first round defeat in Players' Championships that year. On the 24th of May 2025, he announced on Instagram that he and Daphne Govers, his wife of 17 and a half years and the mother of his 2 children, had separated. He withdrew from the Dutch Darts Championship, the Nordic Darts Masters, the World Cup of Darts, and later, the Players' Championship finals. In October 2025, he suffered a first round exit at the World Grand Prix. Days later, he withdrew from the remaining Pro Tour events and the final European Tour, stop of the season. He told Darts World magazine, quote, "Everyone knows what has happened, and right now, my focus is solely on my children. This has been a tough year, and I now need to recharge the batteries ahead of the World Championships." He also revealed his father Henri was battling cancer, and then came the statistic that should have been impossible. In November 2025, Michael van Gerwen failed to qualify for the Players' Championship finals. For the first time since 2011, across 15 Players' Championship events he entered in 2025, he lost in the first round 8 times. He reached the quarter-final once, the man with the most Pro Tour titles in darts history. Master Caller lists him at over 90, couldn't get past the last 128, more than half the time he turned up. There was one moment of light. In September 2025, on home soil in Amsterdam, he won the World Series of Darts Finals 11 legs to 7 over Luke Littler, his 17th World Series title, his first major televised trophy in 2 years. He said, quote, "We all know where I'm coming from and the difficulty I have had in the last few months. I've never been away." He brought his daughter Zoe on stage. That was his one trophy of 2025. The rest of the year was a collapse. Now to 2026. Michael van Gerwen started this season well. On the 16th of January 2026, he won the Bahrain Darts Masters in his 50th World Series appearance, beating Jan van Veen 8-6 in the final to claim his first World Series title since January 2024. On ITV, he said, quote, "I don't have to prove anything to anyone. I had a tough few years, but more importantly, you have to make sure you keep battling your own battles." 4 days later, he reached the Saudi Arabia Darts Masters final. He lost it 8-5 to Luke Littler on the eve of Littler's 19th birthday. That was the high point of his year. Since then, the evidence has all moved in one direction. On the 30th of December 2025, the Worlds held over the turn of the year. He went out in round 4, 1-4 to Gary Anderson. The first time since 2016, with the pandemic aside, that he has not reached the quarter-finals of a World Championship. Afterwards, he said, quote, "From the start of the match, I let myself down in key moments. In this defeat, I'm the culprit." Late January and early February 2026, he played the Winmau World Masters in Milton Keynes. He was drawn against Damon Heta. Heta hit a 101 checkout, first round exit, at the tournament named after his own sponsor. On the 7th of March 2026, he played the UK Open in Minehead, a tournament he has won 3 times. In the last 16, he faced James Wade. Wade averaged 105.83, hit 59% of his doubles, and beat him 10 legs to 3. Van Gerwen, afterwards, on Viaplay, "I gave him too much confidence at the start of the match. You can't miss those kinds of things, especially not against him." That is his full major and ranking event record for the first 4 months of 2026. Worlds, round 4. World Masters, round 1. UK Open, last 16, Players' Championship 2, beaten by Gerwen Price, who averaged 117.12. 2 World Series events, 1 title, 1 final loss to Littler. 0 ranking titles, 0 majors. Then there's the Premier League. He won night 1 in Newcastle on the 5th of February, beat Stephen Bunting, Luke Humphries and Jan van Veen 6-4 in the final. On the Sky feed afterwards, he said, live on air, quote, "It's about fucking time I win something." Sky apologised. His first Premier League night win since May 2024 in Birmingham. Night 2 in Antwerp, he reached the final, lost 5-6 to Gerwen Price. Night 3 in Glasgow, the 19th of February, he withdrew due to illness. Luke Littler took the bye. Under league rules, Van Gerwen got 0 points and -6 leg difference. Night 4 in Belfast, he lost 5-6 to Gerwen Price in the quarter-final. Night 10 in Brighton, the 9th of April, he reached his 4th nightly final of the campaign. He was leading Clayton 5 legs to 2. He lost the final 6-4. Night 11 in Rotterdam. Ahoy, the 16th of April. On home soil, in front of a Dutch crowd, he lost the quarter-final 2 legs to 6 to Johnny Clayton. Clayton hit a 170 checkout on the way through. Clayton is now the runaway leader of the league with 29 points. Michael van Gerwen, after night 11, sits 4th on 16 points. 5 nights and the O2 playoffs still to come. 2 finals, 1 night. Win, 1 withdrawal. A home soil quarter-final exit. Which brings us to the Premier League 2027. Michael van Gerwen has been in every Premier League season since 2013. If he completes 2026, that is 14 consecutive seasons, the longest unbroken Premier League streak in the format's history. The PDC has never published a strict ranking cutoff for Premier League selection. The field is invitational, chosen on world ranking, pedigree, recent major titles, and commercial draw. Van Gerwen ticks pedigree and draw. Ranking and recent titles, the two boxes that used to be automatic are the ones now wobbling. If he finishes outside the top 4 of the 2026 Premier League, fails to win a major, and the 2025 prize money starts rolling off across the second half of the year, the mathematical case for his selection weakens. The 2027 field will not be announced until late January or early February 2027. No PDC pundit is currently on the record saying he should be left out, but for the first time in 14 years, the question is being asked. There is another side to this, and an honest account has to include it. Michael van Gerwen won the 2026 Bahrain Darts Masters at the start of this season. He is still inside the world's top 4. He has reached 2 Premier League finals in 2026. He ended a 2-year major drought in Amsterdam in September 2025. Luke Littler, after winning the 2026 World Championship, said this on camera, quote, "MVG is back. He's the second greatest player of all time. He deserves quite a lot of respect." Van Gerwen himself said at the 2025 World Championship, quote, "I've re-signed my contract with Windmill for another 10 years, so I will be on the scene for a little bit longer and I enjoy what I do." He is 36 years old. He has not used the word retirement, he has said the opposite. But the scoreboard is the scoreboard. Michael van Gerwen has gone from world number 1 for 2,559 consecutive days to world number 4. He has gone from Dutch number 1, a title he held from October 2012 through January 2026, to Dutch number 2 behind a 23-year-old. He missed the 2025 Players' Championship finals for the first time in 14 years. He lost in round 1 of 8 separate Players' Championships in 2025. He lost round 4 of the 2026 Worlds to a man he used to beat on autopilot. He lost round 1 of his sponsor's own tournament to Damon Heta. He lost the last 16 of the UK Open 310 to James Wade. He has to defend £477,000 in 2026, 69% of everything he has on the rankings. The 2025 prize money, including that World Series finals title in Amsterdam and the runner-up money from the 2025 Worlds final, all rolls off across 2027. Vincent van der Voort has said on record that starting 2027 outside the top 16 is realistic. The Pro Tour ranking already has him at 31st. The premise of this video asked whether Michael van Gerwen, right now, is on track to be world number 20 after the 2027 World Championship if he can't find a way to improve. The honest answer from the numbers is this. No name source has modelled a specific drop to 20th, but his closest friend and podcast analyst has publicly said, "A drop to the back of the top 16 is very possible on this trajectory, and the Pro Tour table already shows a slippage nobody predicted a year ago. The Mighty Mike era is not over, but for the first time in 13 years, the maths is working against him. A 23-year-old compatriot is ranked above him, and people who used to defend him are now openly modelling how far he could fall. The downfall has not finished. On the scoreboard, it has just started."